Hello, YouTube. How are you? Welcome to another edition. Today, we're going to talk about a fan favorite, a fan hatred, a hot topic. One of the viewers of my last video, which I'll link at the end of this one, put a comment in and asked, why does nobody talk about ULTY ULTY? And, I've never really looked into it until today. And so today's video, we're going to discuss ULTY. We're going to discuss how it's doing, my opinion on if I would invest in it, things like that. Now, before we really get started, my opinions are just mine. Do your own research on these. I'm going to kind of hopefully point you in the right direction for that research, but don't listen to me for advice on if you should buy or not buy this ETF. It's just me going through a few different tabs on my screen here, which I think you might find interesting. So stay tuned. We'll get into that for sure. So appreciate you liking this video, and so that more people get to see it. There are a lot of ULTY holders out there that may not have the opportunity to check this out. So hit that like button just so they can take a look at it. All right, first thing we're doing here is I have yieldmax's website open. I'll link it down below in the very first comment, so that if you are not aware of where yieldmax's website is, you can go to it. And I've gone ahead and gone to ULTY on our ETF page here. It's all the way down at the bottom, right there, ULTY. So it stands for Ultra Option Income. And this thing is a bit of a wildcat. Now, I am a brand new rookie to ULTY. I've just spent the last hour kind of researching more information about it. And I think I have a good idea of what they do, how they've been doing. And I can look at it with a glass, hold on one second, half full, with a little bit of a glass half empty kind of take on this. So let me scroll down here. You can see their current distribution rate is 114% as of today. It's been around for, well, it's paid out about 8 payments. Yeah, 8 payments here. And all of them have been extremely lucrative. So I'll zoom into that for you. So this is the good news stuff right here. Paying out 98 cents, 78 cents, 99. Wayne Gretzky, $1.13, $1.27, $1.41. Oh my goodness, and $1.06. So this is the good news. So like I said, there's a glass half empty, glass half full. That's the half full part. You probably already know what the glass half empty is. ULTY started at 1935, and that was all the way back February 29th. And today, it's at $10.22. So that's not super promising. It hasn't had a really great start when it comes to share price. But if you're a holder of ULTY, I'm gathering you're pretty excited about the dividends you got so far, which is 8 of them. They're averaging like $1, right? So that's $8 right there. So, I mean, if we look at it, you're down $1 or $2 in total value if you have taken those dividends and taken them as cash. Now, what a lot of people do is they reinvest that right back into ULTY. And that kind of makes sense to me. If you're looking to grow that that position in your fund, then go do that. But yeah, ULTY. Let's go take a look back here again. So amazing distributions, but not great performance so far. And I just want to be clear. I totally get it. A lot of us are invested in yieldmax ETF funds because of the income, and so this is incredible income so far right here. So I'm going to go to a calculator that Retire on Dividends shared with the community. It's pretty awesome. And I just plugged in ULTY and then another yieldmax ETF called YMAG. And I did a little comparison between the two of them. So I just popped in, if you had an initial balance of $10,000, your initial price was $19.35. That gave you 516 shares. Now, the good news about this website is I actually didn't have to do any work at all. I definitely recommend checking it out. What else? Total dividends so far with that $10,000 down. So since February, $4,944. That's incredible. That's almost 50%. I bet you one more month that would be 50% in that would make it 9 months. Really, really good. The last dividend was 98 cents. Your estimated dividend per month. Now, this is like a roller coaster at a theme park. It could go way up, or it could go way down, or it could do a full loop. But this is just what we have on this website. Estimated dividend is $880 a month, and yield on cost 105%. So your end shares, remember you started with 516, and your end shares would be 895. Last share price 10.20. There we go. So total end value $9,138 or minus 8.6%. That's not good, right? You don't want your money to go down, especially when the market has been kind of working its way up over that same amount of time, slowly increasing over that same amount of time. So when your dollar amount goes down 8%, that's not a good thing for sure. And I personally wouldn't be super happy with that. YMAG over here up 11% in that same time period, and with the same dollar amount down and things like that. So looking pretty good. YMAG is a weekly pair, whereas ULTY is a monthly pair. And there's the two of them in comparison with the chart. So yeah, I mean, so far ULTY not doing it for me. I would be a little bit nervous, and let me just kind of tell you why I would be nervous. I'm a little nervous about the stock price right now, $10.22. It gets very close to that reverse split territory. You know, if it gets close to $6, the Nasdaq gets a little itchy, and they think like, "Wow, do we have to delist the stock?" So yieldmax will not let that happen. And if it got close to that $6, yieldmax would do a reverse split on that for sure. So how does that affect you if they did a reverse split? Well, let's say you had 1,000 shares. At the end of that reverse split, you would have 500 shares if they did just split it in two or reversed it by two. But that doesn't necessarily affect your payout, because then also your dividend payout would be doubled. And if you want to do more research on that, go take a look at TSLY, what they did from March 1st and on. You can take a look at their dividends. So they had a reverse split. But yeah, $10.22, not looking amazing in share price. Oof. If you're a gambler, could it be worth the risk right now to pop $1,000 in here to get some of those dividends? If you're a gambler, right? But for me, I'm gonna hold off for now. But it is definitely pretty juicy, that's for sure. So if you're a shareholder, I kind of go back and forth in my mind here. The dividends are juicy, that's for sure. But the share price is it worth the squeeze? I've gone ahead here and a little further down into YieldMax's website, and I took a look at their net assets. So a lot of you are invested in this $188 million worth of investments. So that's pretty good. That means there's a fair amount of people invested in this fund, and I will cover it more in the future year as I get even more familiar with it. But what I found really interesting, today was the first day I really looked at this, and I said to myself, what are these companies? I've never heard of almost all of them. And it's so funny, right? There's so many companies out there in the world to invest in. And you kind of get that tunnel vision of just like the ones that you know, and you forget there's other companies out there on the stock market. So I've gone ahead and I looked up these companies just to see how they're doing. And I guess what ULTY does is they end up purchasing shares of that company and then selling covered calls on that company. And this is definitely something that I want to do more of. I have done it in the past with a Bitcoin miner called Riot, and I really enjoyed collecting those premiums, and that's what ULTY is essentially doing here. So I want to go through what they currently have, and it's really important to understand that this list changes all of the time, and as they either sell out of that company or buy into another company. So this list changes all the time. So the first one says AST Space Mobile. Show of hands here. Who has heard of this before? I have not. Here we go. AST Space Mobile. It's a $24.36 share. You can see in the last 6 months it's gone up 949%. Oh, 909%. So that changes. You can see that changes pretty quickly. So think about that for a second. What's that doing for the people at ULTY? Well, that's creating a little bit of an up and down swing, which creates higher premiums whenever you write covered calls. And so that makes sense to invest in AST Mobile because we're going to have those higher premiums coming into ULTY. So again, I'll go back to ULTY. Looks like they own 349,000 shares of it, and they've written a call here for $26, ending on October 24th, so 19 days from today. Let me just open my calendar real quick here. The 24th. Oh, I lied. Yeah, the 24th. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So that's the call for that one. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. So, their goal is to have it not go over $26. Mobile currently at 23.42, so doing pretty well with that one. And they have, they've done all right. Headquarters Midland, Texas. Fancy, fancy, fancy. Kind of interesting if you're a LT shareholder to open this up and just kind of take a look at the companies, just to become more familiar with them, and understand why yieldmax fund managers are investing in these companies that you may never have heard of before. But yeah, interesting stuff for sure. That's one. Let's go check out the next one here. Calumet. Calumet. Closing it on the 18th here. So yeah, there's the 18th. All right, cool. And so what is it, $20? Let's go see if that's correct. Yeah. Okay, so it's trading at $18.96 today. So 3 weeks from now, it's going to be, that option is going to be closed. We hope. I mean, if it gets, there's a big pump. If it gets close to that $20 around that period, they may want to close that option early, but time is on their side. As time decays or time goes on, then they can close it for hopefully cheaper or less expensive. Like if they close it today, it would cost them more money to close it because it's so far away. And it is, look at that, it is kind of close, right? It's 50 cents off. So interesting. Let's do another one. They have Coinbase as well, which is probably the biggest name that they have. So that's closing on the 11th. So next Friday, and their call option is at 175. So they're trying to keep. They hope that Coinbase is under 175. So it's $11 away, with 6 trading days to go. But Coinbase can be very volatile. For anybody that has Coney, you'll understand that, right? But Coinbase can be pretty volatile, that's for sure. Let's take a look at another one they have here, Enphase Energy. Show of hands if you've ever heard of Enphase Energy. I'm sure somebody has, but up here in the vast land of Canada, I've not. Take a look at that one. Actually, before we take a look at that one, let's go see what we got here. October 24th, $111 option here. It's not like they have a ton of calls, but they do have enough in there, that's for sure. Base 111. Okay, so it's at 106 right now. So this is just an example of all of the different companies that they can trade with. This is not, they're not trading with like Tesla and things like that. Whereas I'll give you an example. Tesla only trades with Tesla and also the treasuries, right? Well, ULTY can trade with any company they want to. It's in their perspective. If it's going to make them money with covered calls, then they're going to do it. And so that's why this list right here changes all the time as they are investing in a new company. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily investing in that company. They just see that that company provides volatility, and so they're going ahead and buying those shares and then writing cover calls on that company. So there's Enphase. I actually want to take a look a little bit more. It's an American energy technology company headquartered in Fremont, California, that develops and manufactures solar micro inverters, battery energy storage, and EV charging stations primarily for residential customers. Wow. All right, cool. Take a look at the 5 year. Oh, yeah. It had a massive swing up, didn't it? Oh, my goodness, right? But down 8.23% this year. It appears to be like the Rocky Mountains here, just north of California there, but up and down, and that's what's creating that volatility to your distributions. They got one more here. Direxion Daily S&P Biotech Bull 3x shares, right? So 3-time leverage shares. Labu. I had a hard time finding this, and then I typed in Labu, Labu, and there it is right there. So currently at $124. Take a look at it down below here. So the call is for $135. So looking good there. October the 4th be with you. Looking really good, actually. So that's tomorrow. I'm going to just go to that one. Wow. Okay. So let's go look at the last 5 days. Okay. So this looks like it's going to be a winner. 700 different options there for that one. That looks like it's going to be a winner for the ULTY crew. So congratulations on that. So they may have to, they're probably going to end up waiting till tomorrow to close that to maximize the premium that you received from that option. So that's pretty good. Something that some people do if they're just kind of like your average Joe, kind of like myself, you may just let that one kind of close on its own and you don't have to pay anything for it. Sometimes people roll these for another week. That could be an option as well, right? To receive premiums. But if you just let it close on its own because you own the shares, you don't have to pay anything to close that option. So that could be something they want to do. All right, so ULTY ETF again down 47% so far since it's come out, and that's in just share value, but you have received a lot of distributions so far. I'm sure you're happy about that part. You're not so happy about the price. What is yieldmax doing to make that price back up? Are we having longer shares? Are we doing anything like a credit call spread? These are questions that I would want to know. And are we going to be able to get that price from $10.18 up to $12 in the next few months? Something I would think about is, and I've said it before, and I know Jay doesn't love this. What about yield pretty good instead of yield max, right? So instead of paying me 98 cents, let's knock it down to 50 every single month and put the rest of that into my share price. I don't know about how you, the viewership, feels about this, but if it meant pumping that value of the stock back up to $20 over the next year, would you be willing to make that happen? That sacrifice, something to think about for sure. So that's going to be my take on ULTY, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could drop a like down below. I've also linked a few of the products that I use, as well as like this microphone, the drone that's sitting over there that I use almost every day to take nature videos. I've also linked this laptop, my cell phone, and the one thing I drink every single day, which is called Greens Plus. It's for my gut health. If you are looking for something to improve your gut health, plus give you some energy, I've linked that down below. Click that link, and I get a small commission for you purchasing that. But yeah, I just wanted to say I also have memberships available, so if you want to support the channel, And then if you don't want to do any of that, all good. If you can hit the like button, that would really help this channel grow. And I just wanted to say I really appreciate you guys stopping in today. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have the best day. Bye for now.